Mondavi. It's actually the 2010. That's the year that the grapes were grown, 2010. And I have to tell you, one of the things that I complain about quite often is the amount of alcohol in wines. Over the last 10 or 15 years, it's really climbed. Used to be, the best wines were around 13 to 14%. And then they've creeped up to 14.5, 15, 15.5, 16. And it's just, to me, it's gone out of whack. We're not drinking wine for alcohol. We're drinking wine to pair with food. So the reason, the more alcohol in wine, the less it goes with food. I don't know if you know that or not, but it's not a good combination. A lot of alcohol doesn't go with food so well. A smaller amount. So the reason I'm even mentioning this is this beautiful Chardonnay from Napa Valley is 13.5. That's terrific. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Pinot Noir, which is wine number 2. The Pinot Noir is a 2010. That's the year that the grapes were grown. The varietal is Pinot Noir. And I need to tell you one more time, Pinot Noir is the toughest grape to grow, to make wine out of. It's the most finicky grape in the whole world. And it doesn't grow well anywhere in the world. I mean, in France, it doesn't grow well. Where it does grow well, the Pinot is outstanding. In America, in the Carneros region, where that breeze is around, it keeps it cool. It doesn't get too hot. It doesn't get too cold. It doesn't get too windy. It doesn't get too much rain, all that sort of thing. It loves it. So some of the finest Pinot in the world comes from the Carneros area. Just like some of the Chardonnay, the best in the world, comes from the Carneros region. I just thought I'd like to share that with you. Now, it's the fog that happens, and we know that if you're on the Pacific coast, especially in the springtime, in the morning, there's fog. You can't see the headlights on your car, and so it takes 2 or 3 or 4 hours for that fog to burn off by the sun to where you can see. Well, what it does is keeps everything cool a little bit longer. And that's what Pinot Noir likes, and so does Chardonnay. And consequently, even though it does take longer before it warms up, it also, as a result, takes longer to mature. So what would you pair with Pinot Noir? Well, the chef has taken some spicy shrimp and a little bit of eggplant and put that together. I don't know if they brought, I guess they have brought it out already. So it's pan-seared shrimp and a little black pepper cream sauce with a little Romano. Romano being a cheese. That would be not Parmesan, but Romano. And you know the difference between Parmesan and Maggiano? Yes, you do. Parmesan cheese is made from cow's milk. Romano cheese is made from goat's milk. That's why there's a difference in taste. And they're both delicious, with a little crusted eggplant. So you take that along with that Pinot Noir, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So Pinot Noir goes really well with salmon and or tuna without a problem because of that fat content, if you will. Pork tenderloin, and the amount of alcohol in this Pinot Noir is only 14.5. So that's kind of the low end of the high, if you will. So Pinot Noir is not too much acidity, it's not too much alcohol, and it goes very well with food, because Pinot Noir is not only just what we would call a patio wine where you could sit around and just drink it by itself, it's also an extremely good food wine. Now they're going to pour the Cabernet here in just a moment, but before they do, or while they do, let me tell you a little bit about this Cabernet Sauvignon, because this is not your typical run-of-the-mill Cabernet Sauvignon at all. And the reason? Well, there's 5 different varietals in that Cabernet Sauvignon. But this Cabernet has 83% Cabernet Sauvignon juice, and all the rest is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Let me tell you what it is. Cabernet Franc, or Cab Franc as we like to call it, it has about 4%. It has about 4% Merlot. Everybody's pretty much familiar with Merlot. and it's always been used as a rounding grape, at least initially, although now it stands alone in the bottle. A little Syrah, 3%. That's not a lot, but Syrah has a little more backbone to it than Merlot would have. And Petit Verdot. Some people never even heard of Petit Verdot, but in French language, Petit Verdot is a pretty popular flavor to add to Cabernet Sauvignon. Teralego is another one that's 2%. And last but certainly not least, a little bit of Syrah, 2%. Petite Syrah. Here's what the chef put together to taste with it. Now, he's putting this on a bruschetta. It's a piece of bread. You know, they take French bread, or more popularly Italian bread, slice it, put it on a little olive oil on it, and put it on the grill. So you get those carcinogen marks, or I should say grill marks, on that bread. That makes it bruschetta. Then anything you put on top of it, it is a bruschetta. If you took that same piece of bread and didn't put it on the grill, and you put it in the oven and toasted it, it would be a crostini. But he's taken a little bit of steak and put on top of that bruschetta. With one of my favorite combinations is gorgonzola. You know, gorgonzola cheese, which is the Italians' answer to blue cheese or Roquefort. That cheese on top of steak with a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon is really, really tasty. But in addition to that, and it'll be out here in a minute, folks, there's a little bit of arugula. Everybody knows that's that kind of peppery lettuce that's very tasty. I love it just by itself as a salad. Fennel, one of our favorite vegetables coming from Italy. Fennel, it has those fennel fronds and so on. Got to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what we did, an overview, if you will. We're almost finished. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these messages.
Upgrade to DirecTV today and get the best offer ever. Get over 150 of your favorite channels. And this season of NFL Sunday Ticket is included at no extra charge. You'll get 3 free months of HBO, Starz, Showtime, and Cinemax. 4 free equipment upgrades to an HD DVR and up to 3 HD receivers. And HD is included. Plus, lock in not 1, but 2 years of savings. This offer won't last long. Upgrade today and get the best offer ever with DirecTV.